Imagine standing in the center of a hurricane. Around you, buildings are crumbling. The wind is howling with enough force to snap ancient oaks like toothpicks, and the sky has turned a bruised, sickly purple. Most people in this situation would be paralyzed by terror or swept away by the chaos. But a Stoic stands in the eye of that storm, not because they are magical or superhuman, but because they have built an internal fortress that no external wind can reach. This is the essence of staying calm when your world collapses. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or becoming a cold, unfeeling robot. It is about the radical realization that while you cannot control the storm, you are the absolute master of the ship's wheel. When we talk about a world collapsing, we aren't just talking about global catastrophes. We are talking about the phone call that changes everything, the betrayal of a partner, the sudden loss of a career, or the diagnosis that turns your future into a question mark. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, lived through plagues, exiles, and the fall of empires. They didn't just theorize about peace. They practiced it in the trenches of human suffering. The first and most vital tool in the Stoic Blueprint is the Dichotomy of Control. Epictetus, who was born a slave and rose to become one of the most influential teachers in Rome, began his handbook with a simple sentence: "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." It sounds too simple to be profound, yet almost all human misery stems from trying to control the uncontrollable. When your world collapses, your instinct is to grab at the falling pieces. You try to force people to stay. You try to make the economy recover. You try to bargain with fate. This is like trying to stop the rain by shouting at the clouds. A Stoic immediately audits the situation. Is the fact that I lost my job in my control? No. Is my reaction to that loss in my control? Yes. Is the opinion of the people judging me in my control? No. Is my next move in my control? Yes. By ruthlessly discarding everything outside your control, you stop leaking energy. You become a laser beam of focus on the only thing that matters: your character and your actions in this present moment. This leads to the second tool, Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. We are often crushed by disaster because we are surprised by it. We live in a state of fragile optimism, assuming the floor will always be beneath our feet. The Stoic, however, spends time every morning visualizing the worst-case scenario. They don't do this to be depressing, but to be invincible. If you have already walked through the fire in your mind, the heat won't shock you when the actual flames arrive. You realize that even if you lose your home, your health, or your reputation, you still possess your ability to reason and your ability to choose virtue. This leads to the concept of Amor Fati, the love of fate. It is not enough to merely endure the collapse. You must embrace it. Nietzsche, heavily influenced by the Stoics, described this as wanting nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. When the world collapses, the Stoic says, "Thank you for this challenge. This is the fuel for my growth. Fire is the test of gold, and adversity is the test of strong men." You start to see the collapse not as a tragedy, but as a curriculum designed to make you stronger. Think of a fire. A small candle is blown out by a gust of wind, but a massive bonfire consumes the wind and uses it to grow larger. You want to be the bonfire. To do this, you must master your perceptions. Shakespeare, who channeled Stoic thought, wrote that there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. A job loss is just an event. It is your mind that labels it a disaster. A Stoic strips away the labels. They see the event as raw data. The world hasn't ended. The current arrangement of your life has simply changed. This perspective allows you to move with the grace of a dancer rather than the stiffness of a statue. Statues shatter. Dancers adapt. Finally, the Stoic practices memento mori, remembering that you will die. In the face of ultimate mortality, the collapse of a business or relationship loses its sting. We are all temporary. The world itself is in a constant state of flux and decay. By accepting the transience of all things, you stop clinging so tightly to the shadows on the wall. You find a deep, unshakable calm that comes from knowing that you have done your best with what was yours to handle. You stand tall among the ruins, not because you are stubborn, but because you are grounded in the truth. This is the Stoic blueprint for the end of the world. It is the art of being the only person in the room who isn't screaming, because you know that as long as your mind is intact, you haven't lost anything that truly matters.